Ski moms, ready to make the 2024-25 ski season your best one yet? Well, right now, if you buy the 25-26 Icon Pass Season Pass, you can ski at select destinations for the rest of this season, as well as all of next year. You can make memories over spring break and even more on the slopes all next season. Starting March, you can lock in the lowest prices of the season and score big on Icon Pass renewals and new sales. Whether you're carving up your favorite local mountain or exploring new terrain at iconic destinations, the Icon Pass gives you access to more than 60 resorts worldwide. Don't miss out on this incredible value. Grab your pass and start planning those amazing family adventures today. Head to iconpass.com to learn more. Welcome to Season 4 of the Ski Moms Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicole and Sarah. Hey Ski Moms, it's time to elevate your après game with the new Ski Moms Après Ski Cocktail Book. Packed with delicious recipes, this book has everything you need to mix up cozy winter cocktails and refreshing sips for celebrating after a day on the slopes. From warm spice classics to creative new favorites, there's something for every ski mom. And even a few mocktails, grab your copy now and bring a little extra magic to your next après ski gathering. You can get your copy at theskimoms.co or on Amazon. Cheers to good times and great snow. The Ski Moms are so excited to welcome Annie Pillock. She is the Director of Recreation and Entertainment at the Mohonk Mountain House. I was lucky enough to take a visit to this house recently. I haven't gotten to stay there yet, but it is an exquisite property in the Catskills, just outside of the tri-state area, like the metro centers. And it's such a haven for outdoor lovers. So we're excited to talk about this with Annie and their sustainability efforts. So welcome, Annie, to the podcast.
Good morning. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So we talked a little bit in our sort of pre-interview about your relationship with winter, and we do welcome retired ski moms and current ski moms, but we'd love to know a little bit about where you kind of grew up and how you learned to embrace winter and play outdoors even when it's cold.
Yeah, so I actually didn't grow up around here. I grew up actually on Long Island, and I just always loved the outdoors. I was always that kid that was trying to find a tree to climb and run around, which can be a little hard in suburbia. It's compacted. I started off actually really falling in love with running and cross country specifically, which is you're just immersed, in the woods, in parks, wherever they have extended areas. So that was where it led for me. And then anytime we took a family vacation in upstate New York, I just felt like I came alive. So I just really loved it. So I actually ended up in this area because of college. New Paltz has State University in it of New Paltz. And I just really felt connected when I visited here a couple times. And because of that, that's how I discovered Mohonk. That was my first job here, first full-time job here, I should say. It was a summer job at first. And you just have access to so much. There's so many land preserves on top of the Mohonk Mountain House. So the accessibility to the trail system, the lake, you can go boating. It felt like summer camp for a little while. And obviously I grew further on in my position. So, but yeah, it's just been a love of it. And winter up here is super fun. Besides, at the first time I ever snowshoed was at the Mohonk Mountain House. I learned how to cross country ski here. A lot of my husband specifically really loves cross country skiing. So we're always trying it out. I haven't fully fallen in love with it, but I'm trying to embrace it, but my son is really falling in love with it. So we're a cross-country family, if you will. So, but yeah, we have a gorgeous outdoor pavilion for ice skating. I'm an 80s kid, so I grew up roller skating, and ice skating was just kind of a hand-in-hand relationship there. And it's gorgeous and it's really fun. Being outside, I think, is essential. And if you're able to realize that and you can tap into those resources that are around you, I think it's really important, and it's really fun.
That's amazing. So it sounds like you got to this area and you never went back to Long Island, right?
Yeah.
So walk us through your career path there.
My first job here, I worked at the boat dock. It was a summer job. I was taking summer classes at SUNY New Paltz, and I worked at the Information Summer House, which is direct contact with the guests where you're just sharing everything about the property. I also worked in our children's program as a camp counselor. And then eventually one day somebody called out and I got trained at tennis too. So I kind of got moved around. I did that for 2 summers. So I was the summer leading into my senior year of school. And then the summer after I graduated, I did blind staff stuff. And I knew after I graduated that I didn't want to move back to Long Island, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to be here. And I thankfully had the opportunity post-college to apply for running our children's program. It was a full-time year-round manager position. I loved it. I loved my boss at the time. And they took a chance on me and I stepped into the role and I did that for a couple of years. And then as things evolved, I took on more and more responsibilities and I eventually became the activities manager. And that essentially oversees not only the kids club, but other activities revenue centers. So like the boat dock, tennis, the beach, all of that stuff. So my training evolved. I did that for a really long time. So I was at Mohonk for about 12 years. In that time, I got married. I had twins. And then I realized I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue working in the field, but the pull of motherhood and also just the responsibility of two really small children, it was a lot. So I took a break actually from Mohonk for a couple years. And I was a stay-at-home mom with my twins. And then in 2015, there was some upward change on the property. The Smiley family was shifting who was going to be president and positions started to shift around. And so my boss at the time, Alex Sherwood, who was the director of recreation, received a promotion and is still currently here. And he's the director of hotel operations, which oversees even more areas besides recreation. So there was a vacancy and I had an itch and I loved being at home with my kids, but I also really missed the mountain house and I missed the community up here. I missed my friends. I missed the routine. So we talked about it as a family and I applied and I got the position. And then, so now it's been 10 years now that I've been back and my kids are growing up here. It's a big part of our life. And yeah, it's incredible. When I actually first started, the position actually was just director of recreation. And then another shift internally happened. And I ended up also overseeing the theme programs department, which is one of my favorite teams that I oversee. They're just such a special group of people. But yeah, they're specifically overseeing things like chocolate weekends and Scottish weekend and mystery weekend and stuff like that. So I don't only get to deal in the world of recreation, but I also get to deal in the world of events too, which is really awesome. And it's a very creative space, which I like.
I love that you took time off and then went back to it. But I do want to take a moment, hit pause, and we've got to explain what this place is. I have heard about it through friends from New York City who had stayed there year after year, second generation of Mohonk families who were going up there. And I was trying to picture, is this like Dirty Dancing? Are there activities going on every hour? And then when I finally got to drive up to it, I was like, oh, this is completely different than what I expected. It is absolutely stunning. It's like a British castle popping out of the Catskills. But do a better job than I'm doing right now to
I mean, you're doing a good job.
Paint a picture. I just know you turn in, there's a little guardhouse, and then take us from there.
Yeah. So our gatehouse is where you first check in and meet our first Mohonk employee. Then it's a 2.2-mile drive. And we recommend it slowly and quietly. So your signage will see that. We want you to immediately, from passing through that gatehouse, to relax and realize that, enjoy the nature that you're in, embrace the vacation that you're about to start. And then once you get closer to where the house is, you enter onto what's called Garden Road and you drive under our weeping beech, which is this beautiful, looks like a weeping willow, but it's a beech tree. But it's this gorgeous tree that its branches overhang on the road. So you drive under it and then you come upon our formal gardens. That'll be on your left side. I know, a little specific, but as you get closer, then you see that gorgeous view of the house. And that actually was the original check-in side of the house. The modern, what we have right now is as you drive around, you actually drive into what is the newer front of the house. But when the house and the family first bought the property in 1869, the main entrance of the mountain house actually was on that lakeside because everybody arrived in carriages. There were no vehicles really at the time. So the Smiley family are visionaries and they have 6 generations that have owned and operated the mountain house. We are 155 years old. This year we're going to be 156 years old. And it's amazing. I mean, Albert Smiley, he was the founding family member that discovered the mountain house, and he was a principal over at the Friends Academy in Poughkeepsie. And so that's about, from a car, 45 minutes, like 35, 40 minutes from here. So you can imagine he came probably via carriage to come hiking and to have a day picnic. And he came upon the mountain house. Well, it was Stokes Tavern at the time, which was a 10-room inn. But he came upon the property with the lake and was like, wow, this is incredible. And he wanted it to be a part of his family at first, but they knew that they wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise. So they used their savings, and then they wrote letters to friends and family to help them basically pay for the property. And they realized what an incredible investment this was, but they knew they had to pay everybody back. So they decided to open it up seasonally to basically the public, and they wanted to share it with everyone because they knew and they felt that the values of sharing nature and just that mindfulness of coming up to nature and getting out of the city and slowing things down and going on those walks and taking in those gorgeous views was really essential. And that just blows my mind because that's so present right now, and it's 2025. That this was 1869, and he saw that. So 6 generations later, we have this amazing 260 plus room house. We have a Grove Lodge. We had cottages at one point. It's really grown into something spectacular. The core part of the property that you were describing, that castle-like, a lot of the building took place during that Victorian style era.
I've actually been to Mohonk Mountain House a few times.
Oh.
As a kid, I would come just for the day, and I was wondering if that's still an option.
Oh, yeah.
What that would look like if people maybe don't have as much time, or maybe they're somewhat local like we were. What are the offerings for like day visits?
Yeah, so that's one of the cool things about the property. When they opened their doors for overnight, they also opened their doors for day guests right from the beginning. And we've never changed that. So even still today, if you wanted to come, you can come as low-key as parking at the gatehouse and being a day guest and just having a grounds pass and coming up to do that iconic Labyrinth Rock Scramble and enjoying the views and sitting by the lake. But you can also come up for special occasions. So if you wanted to come up, like, let's say Mother's Day for brunch, we have you can come as a meal guest and you have the opportunity to enjoy the house, enjoy the grounds. You can come up for the spa for the day. I mean, the spa is one of the most beautiful aspects of property too that we have. And we've had the spa since 2005. So, but yeah, I mean, there's also, if you wanted to come up, we have what's called a winter sports pass and a summer sports pass. So the winter sports pass this time of year is great. So those families that want to get outdoors and they want to snowshoe and they want to ice skate and snow tube, you can do all of those things, come on property, park up top, hang out. If you don't want to have a more formal experience in the dining room, you're not tied to it, you can go and have a more casual experience in the carriage lounge. It's like a play, it's a pass to play, essentially. And then we have a summer version where you can come and take a boat out and go play tennis and go to tea and cookies and just really, enjoy the property. And like you said, not everybody has time to spend 3 days at Mohonk. But if you're in the area and you just want to come up quick from the city, it's a really great opportunity to do that.
I thought it was equally romantic for couples, but also very accessible for families. And they seem to coexist because there's so many places to have that quiet moment or let your kids run wild. Would you agree with that?
I 100% agree. The amount of things that you can do outside helps buffer that experience. So your ability to, if you just want to sit on the lake porch and rock on your chair, you can do that. But if you also want to drop your kid off in our children's program, you can do that as well. And then you can go on a hike with your partner and, enjoy your experience there. But there's certain times of the year that I would say are definitely more geared toward adults and less kids if you don't want to, have kids in the dining room or something. But we do cohesively work together, I think, pretty well. So it's a good experience, I think, multi-generationally.
Hey, ski moms. Spring break is just around the corner. Are you dreaming of sunny beach days or snowy mountain adventures? Whether you're craving sand or snow, we've got you covered. That's why we're teaming up with Vrbo to help you find the perfect family-friendly getaway. Vrbo makes vacation planning easy with private rentals designed for families and friends, offering everything from oceanfront escapes to slopeside chalets. Here's why we love Vrbo. There's space to spread out. Ski and beach trips come with a lot of gear, and Vrbo offers spacious homes so everyone can relax comfortably. The perfect location, from stunning beachfront properties to ski in, ski out mountain retreats, and privacy. There's no shared spaces or awkward host encounters. And top-notch amenities. Think gourmet kitchens, game rooms, hot tubs, and fire pits. And peace of mind. Vrbo's Book with Confidence guarantee includes 24/7 support and rebooking assistance if plans change. Spring break will be here before you know it. Start planning now. Download the Vrbo app or visit vrbo.com to find the perfect home for your trip. And be sure to follow us. We'll be sharing some of our favorite ski properties to inspire your next getaway. Let's make this spring break unforgettable.
Tell us a little bit more about the activities and opportunities that we can expect in the winter season to get us outside. And I'm specifically thinking about the families who are winter sport curious, who maybe don't have a lot of experience, and they're coming from maybe, a more urban area in New Jersey, or they're coming from New York City.
Yeah, so I always thought Mohonk was a great stepping stone for people who wanted to try out winter experiences or just general outdoor experiences. We're very friendly, we're very welcoming. And I would say most of your recreation activities are all inclusive in your stay. So if you wanted to, so you don't have to feel like you have to nickel and dime when you go away. Everything is here that you need. So depending on what the conditions are currently on the trail. And that could vary on what Mother Nature provides to us. So this year we've had a wide range of things. So you can have icy conditions where historically in the past, we used to have to close those trails, but we actually have now what are called micro spikes, which slide over even a sneaker. You don't have to have a fancy boot or anything like that. And they're just essentially this rubber top that goes on the top of your foot, and then underneath it are spikes. And they just help provide you with traction. So you can go out and do those winter hiking and not feel stuck inside the house. And we have them as for little kids too. So you can go out as a family if you wanted to try that out. There's also snowshoes. So those we start to give out once there's, at least 4 to 5 inches of snow on the ground. Those are really fun, especially on freshly fallen snow days, because you really get that true snowshoe experience where you're sinking in the snow and you're running around, and the kids can go out into the garden area and play a little bit in the snow and just really feel a little bit more adventurous, And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention cross-country skis. So we have those as far as for little kids up to adults, obviously. And we do lessons for that. So you can, if you're really nervous and, I think sometimes cross-country skiing can be a little intimidating. It involves a little bit more coordination and thought about how you're going to move your body. So you could do private lessons, you can do group lessons, we have clinics. Our instructors are really wonderful people. They're excited. We have a lot more engagement this season because Mother Nature cooperated a bit more. And then our ice skating rink. Our ice skating rinks we've had on property since 2001, the winter. We used to actually be able to ice skate on our lake, but that hasn't been able to be maintained just because of the warmer winters that we've had over the past couple of years. But there's also instructors up there. So if you have a little one or even adults, we actually have adults that take lessons too, but they've never ice skated before. We have some really great instructors that take you out and do one-on-one with you. I can't believe I almost missed this, but we have snow tubing, which doesn't really involve a lot of skill. It's just pure joy. You hop up, and I always find it to be the most joyful of all the winter sports that we have, because just sliding down that hill, everybody just laughs or they cheer or they have this woohoo going, and everybody just leaves with a really huge grin on their face. So it's fun. It's very, very fun.
So what about getting to Mohonk? We're talking about not too far from New Jersey, New York. Not everyone has cars. What does that look like?
Yeah. So what the nice thing about being 90 miles north of New York City is all the transit that's set up in New York City. You can easily just hop on a train, take the train up to the Poughkeepsie train station, and then we can come get you, or you can take a taxi or an Uber to our property and then come over that way. There's also the Trailways bus system. So because we are a college town, we have a great bus stop. I used to take it when I was in school, but it's even closer. So it's right in New Paltz, and then we do pickups down there as well, and you can come right up. So it's a really low-key experience. It's not far, I would say. So 90 miles translates to about 2 hours at most. If you're in your own vehicle, if you happen to have one, it's 1 hour and 30 minutes. So you're carving off that little extra stopping that a train or a bus would have in it. So it's great. It's very accessible. Yeah, and you feel like you're transported. You know, you're coming from the city and then you, like you said, you're turning around the corner and you see this property and you're like, where am I? So it's amazing.
And once you're there, you don't need a car. It's very
No.
eco-friendly in that way that you can walk just about everywhere that you need to get, and you can just kind of wander, which is delightful. How many acres is it total, the property?
It's changed over time. At one point, we had over 5,300 acres, and they've slimmed that down and they put that in what's now the Mohonk Preserve, the land trust. So that's all protected.
Tell me a little bit about how you are connected to the preserve. It's sort of a partner, and does it circle the property?
Yeah, so it's like a donut, actually, is how I describe it to our guests, especially when we're looking at a map and we tell our hiking guides that. So we always want to show them on a map before we go, like where we are and where we're going. And when you look at our map, the white aspect of it is Mountain House property and the gray is the preserve. So in 1963, the Smiley family created what is now called the Mohonk Preserve. It was a Mohonk Trust at the time, where they transferred over 5,300 acres of land into this trust to protect it. And essentially, it was a big part of the land stewardship sustainability that they believed in. They had seen family in California that had property. They, instead of preserving it, they had sold it off and it immediately got overrun and became just housing. And the beautiful property that they had where people could go to escape was completely changed. The landscape was completely changed. And they didn't want that to happen. So they were able to transfer that on there. But the Mohonk Preserve then has taken on that mission of land stewardship through education. They do scientific research. We have a 115-year-old weather station with them that's on our property that they track. They do incredible things. They have weekly programming. They have this incredible summer camp. I mean, the impact that they have in the local community. I didn't grow up around here, but every kid that I knew that did remembers their 4th grade field trip up here and their 6th grade field trip where they've all come and they do water testing and they learn about the lily pond and they get to go in the labyrinth. And it just kind of became embedded in the culture of our area as just being this incredible, accessible area to enjoy nature and to bike and to hike and rock climb.
You've mentioned a few things that we can do after the snow melts. So walk us through what spring or summer adventures might include with our outdoor activities at the Mohonk Mountain House.
Sure. So it's a very long list. So New Paltz in general is really known for its rock climbing. The ridge, the Shwangung Ridge that we're on, has incredible Shwangung conglomerate rock. It makes it really easy to traverse and just engage in that kind of activity. Obviously, our trail system is really wide and diverse. So anybody that's coming up for low-key hikes, more adventurous hikes, we have it all. There's also mountain biking is incredibly popular in the area. So that's definitely something that is very big. One thing I did fail to mention was the winter. We do permit snow fat tire biking on property. We don't rent them out, but if you had it, you were able to engage in that. But yeah, I mean, at the Mountain House specifically, I mean, we have a gorgeous glacial lake. It's 61 feet deep. We have a boat dock. We have about 5 different kinds of boats that our overnight and day guests can take out. We have a beach. So that opens Memorial Day weekend through, I think it's like the 1st or 2nd weekend in September. But, it's beautiful. Besides, it doesn't have a very huge sandy area, but it's got these gorgeous rustic bridges on the left and right side with extended docks and then one that meets in the middle. And we do what's called a lake swim twice a day during our peak summer season. So you actually jump from one of the outer areas of the dock and you actually swim the width of the lake to the other side and back. Morning is 30 minutes and we do an hour for the afternoon. But there is just something special about being out in the middle of the lake like that, not having to just be in a specific roped-in area. But yeah, I mean, we just this past year opened up what's called a Via Ferrata on property, which was really huge. So we have our Eagle Cliff Via Ferrata, which is more of a true Via Ferrata experience. So for those that don't know what that is, that means an iron way. And essentially it came from World War I, where they actually used to drill these metal staples into the rock to try to traverse over the Dolomite Mountains secretly, to move supplies and men and armies. And then after the wars ended, it turned into a recreational experience and has evolved. So, we have harnesses, we have helmets, and it's a guided route with a company that we work with, which is called Alpine Endeavors. And it's incredible. And then we have a more modified experience for those people who are not quite looking for that hardcore sort of climbing experience. It's our Pinnacle Ledge Tour, which is on the other side of our property, closer to where our Skytop Tower is. And it's more of a guided cable walk. I mean, it's still pretty physical. We do have a rock scramble involved in it. And if you've never experienced that before, you could feel a little fish out of water. But it's still really special and really fun. And we're heading into season 2 this year. So I'm really excited.
I remember golfing. Is that still part of the...
Yeah. So our golf course, one of the coolest things in it is Mohonk Mountain House was one of the first properties in the country to permit women to golf. There's a really interesting photo of a woman in Victorian outfit with this long, gorgeous skirt and a really big hat who's just, teeing up on hole number 2. We're gearing up for our season. It's going to start in early April, and we had an incredible season last year. The nice thing about the golf course, too, is it's also part of our sustainability story. So we have received a certificate from the Audubon Society for just the environmentally friendly practices that take place on the golf course, too.
You are really speaking to the right audience. Sarah and I love a 9-hole, and then we like to go get our Arnold Palmer and a Cobb salad and take in the views, and then you can do something else, which leads me to, I want to talk about the food and the spa, because we are ski moms after all. And part of our, our lifestyle choices are definitely putting those calories back in that we've expended and then taking care of our bodies.
Totally understand and respect that. So if you were staying overnight, your meals are included in your stay, which is so nice. So when you first check in, your first meal is going to be your dinner experience in our main dining room, most likely. And then your last meal is going to be your lunch on your checkout. But breakfast and lunch are buffets, which are so good. We have brunch on the weekends for those that are interested in a brunch experience, so Saturday and Sundays. And then we also have we have experiences for someone that just wants to go get a quick bite, that person that's up early in the morning that wants to get out, get on Michael's, 7:30 in the morning nature hike. So we have it's like a souped up, almost continental breakfast, but they have like eggs and to-go food and sandwiches and stuff. Or if you are not that person and you're someone that likes to sleep in and you want to relax and you want to have more of a relaxed experience, our main dining room is incredible. And that has like a much larger spread to it. And if you wanted a more refined experience, and we have really unique experiences, like we have monthly wine pairing dinners. We also have our chef's table, which is really great because that's only up to, I think, at most 8 to 9 people. And you're right there with the chef and he's cooking right in front of you. And it's a really interesting multi-course experience, that fine dining experience, I would say. So those 2 last experiences are not included in your stay, but they're very much worth it.
Okay, so now tell us about the spa. We've been on our morning hike. Maybe we played 9 holes of golf. We're ready for a little relaxation and rejuvenation.
So the spa is one of my favorite places on property. I mean, I love my outdoors. I love my views. I love my hike, my running trails. I love it all, but I do love a good spa, and I love our spa. We have an outdoor mineral pool. So when you check in, obviously you have, your welcoming experience, but you can also hang out at the spa all day. So once you check in, you can actually spend, 6 hours there if you want. You don't just have to come in for your spa treatment. And we encourage that. I mean, we have these really great amenities. So we have this really lovely steam room. We have a sauna. We have the mineral pool, which I explained. We have a multi-gender space where you can hang out by a beautiful fireplace. And then if you just want to have quiet time, you can sit on your side of the area. And they really tailor the experience to you. So of course, obviously there's this wonderful menu that they have. But once you're in the space, they really talk to you. So, every spa has their intake form where they ask you questions and where do you want to work on and stuff. But when you're actually in there with the therapist, it really is a one-on-one experience. So, you may pick the Mohonk Red massage, but once you get there, you may start chatting with them and they may realize, all right, we're going to use this different kind of essential oil for you. And I think maybe we'll try this and I'll focus on this part of you. And work hard, play hard, but also make sure you're relaxing hard too.
And tell us a little bit about the kids program. So we do want to get our spa treatment, or maybe we want to get 9 holes with our partner. How are we going to feel about checking our kids into that program?
Well, I'm biased about the Kids Club because I used to specifically run it. So it holds a special place in my heart. But the Kids Club is for ages 4 through 12 years old. It's a drop-off program. We do not want parents to stay. It's for the kids. our whole motto is that we let kids be kids. So we let them choose what are the choices between the choices of the activities that we have. So if you have an active kid, we always have an active activity, whether it's indoors or outdoors. If you have a creative kid that wants to sit and do art and go exploring and do scavenger hunts, we typically always have those activities available. And sometimes too, like I just was in our children's program during our President's Week just to lend an extra hand. And, kids change their minds. So you have a kid who whizzed right through that art project and loved it, but that they kept looking over and they were like, can I go do gaga ball? And it's like, of course, go have fun, go make friends. And it's just a very welcoming and warm space. We have our own building. It's geared to the kids. So, the bathrooms are little toilets and we have our cubbies there, and we're just always evolving the programming. Alex Neer, our activities manager that runs the Kids Club right now, is very thoughtful, very creative. He's always coming up with new ideas of how to engage with the kids, and anything that you can do on property is pretty much what we like to do with the kids. So if we want to get them outside and explore on the rocks, we can do that. We have this amazing trail system. We take them on boats in the summertime. We take them snowshoeing. We take them microspiking in the winter. We absolutely take them snow tubing, and we take them ice skating. And sometimes it's their first experience doing those things, and it's really cool to experience that with them.
Is the kids program available year round?
Yeah, so it's included in your stay. There's no additional fee. During the school year, we shift to the weekends, obviously, because our, the amount of children midweek drastically drops. But we go full time. Pretty much, it's typically Father's Day weekend, so mid-June through Labor Day. We have a program every single day. We get 3 sessions a day. The morning session is at 9:30 to 12:30. The afternoon is 2 to 3:30. And our evening is 7 to 8:30. So for the evening, a lot of families actually will feed their kids quick off the buffet, have them go hang out for an hour and a half, go hang out with their friends, go relax, go watch. Whether it's in the summer, we have a lot of entertainers up there. So it could be someone that's, teaching them drums or doing, something silly as like a clown doing an entertainment show. But then the parents go back to the dining room or wherever they were having their evening meal, and they just kind of relax for that hour and a half, and they take it in, and then they come back and pick up the kid, and then they continue on with whatever else is scheduled for the rest of the evening.
On my visit, I did see a number of strollers there. If we wanted to book a babysitter for our room, is that possible? Is that some resources you have available?
We do. So our guest service area and concierge have a list of whether they're Mohonk Mountain House employees or locals that have been put on the list. But yeah, I mean, I've had staff. I babysat myself a long time ago. But yeah, they're really trusted, lovely people. So we're prepared for it.
I know you talked a little bit about the sustainability and about how the resort relies on what nature provides when it comes to snow. It seems like you all have thoughtfully added activities in different seasons to maximize what's happening. Are there other things that you wanted to share about how the resort is constantly shifting to the environment?
Yeah, I mean, so the one winter sport that we actually don't rely on Mother Nature, I mean, she's obviously impacts it, can't deny that, is actually our snow tubing house. So we actually make our own snow there. She was very, very supportive this year, so we're very thankful for that. But no, we started making snow in December this year, and we were able to open right before Christmas time, which was great. But yeah, I mean, the evolution of the rink has been huge, and that season is really lovely. I mean, it's right before Thanksgiving, and one year it actually went all the way through Easter, if you can believe that. But yeah, I mean, we're discussing getting our own winter bikes and having our own winter bike fleet just to maximize that area. Pickleball is always on the horizon as it is in a lot of places, and a careful thought and has to be put into that because we don't want to impact the noise pollution that gets impacted with that. So we are strategically trying to figure out where the best location for that will be. But the demand is certainly there from our guests, and we're working with that. We also have an 18-hole disc golf course that we're utilizing.
It sounds like a lot of the activities are human-powered, we're not seeing a lot of motorized vehicles when we're hanging out there.
That's never really been a part of our brand. It's really fun. Don't get me wrong. I've been on an ATV. It's really great. But the impact that those kind of experiences have on property, you have to just be really careful. I mean,
do you maintain gardens there? Is there anything that you're growing on property that we might see like in our dinner that night?
Yeah, so we do have a microgreen program through our culinary team that's actually taking place inside. We do source out a lot of our food products through local farms in the area. We don't have on property any specific like farming. The house did though. I mean, that's how it sustained and was maintained. A lot of the acres that were a little further away from the house were food sources, whether it was poultry, cattle, or actual vegetables and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the garden crew, we joke because when Albert first decided to put in a formal garden for its beauty, not necessarily for that aspect of feeding the culinary area, everybody would always say, if you needed something, just tell him that it was for the garden because he had such a passion for it. And he would always sign off on anything that was related to the garden area, which is why our gardens are still such a big aspect of our property. But yeah, it was just like, write it off and just, oh, it's for the garden. It's for the garden. So we still joke about that today. And it's, 6 generations later.
But it's good to hear that you do rely on a lot of the local food sources. I know that there's still small farms, and I love the farm to table movement. It really helps small businesses stay in business when a big partner like your house is using them as a resource.
Yeah, Steve Anson and Chef Palmieri, who are our head chefs, are very thoughtful and very considerate about stuff like that. And our guests want that experience. It's important that to maintain that you're listening to your clientele, and our impact on the community is really important. I mean, we're one of the largest employers in the area, and if we're not being respectful of our connections, then I don't think we're doing the right thing. But they are, which is really great to see.
Well, I definitely feel like you've sold us, we want to come. What's the best way to find information about the different weekends and go ahead and book our stay?
If you go to mohonk.com, www.mohonk.com, and Mohonk, I'm assuming everybody knows how to spell that. So that's MOH and then honk, HONK. So there's a few different tabs that you can use to explore it. I mean, there is the overnight guest stay that you can click on that just gives you a general overview. We also have specials that we run annually. But yeah, I mean, we have lots of opportunities throughout the year. Get on the mailing list so that you can get notified. There's a really easy way to sign up for that right on the website. That's one of the best ways actually to just stay informed, because not everybody has time to just hop on a website, frequently. But, click on that email when you get it just to see if that experience is the kind of experience that you want to have. I mean, there's so many different ways to experience the property, whether it is for a theme program or in the wintertime or to come in the summertime or that post-summer sweet time, which is when everybody goes back to school, but it's still summer and it's beautiful and everything is still open. That's what we call that the secret summertime in September. And it's one of my favorite times, actually.
Okay, that is a really good point that you just brought up. What is the story with the name? I probably should have asked this earlier, but is that some tie-in to the indigenous people that live there? How did you get the name?
When Albert first was engaging with John Stokes and he was buying the inn from him, he was asking the local community essentially just to learn more about it. And the lake at the time was already called Lake Mohonk. And so essentially that meant lake in the sky. And yes, it is an indigenous word. And he just embraced that. The family has a really great connection, that first and second generation, with actually the indigenous cultures that were in the area. Albert actually was on an arbitration committee where they actually were rallying for indigenous people's rights. We have a beautiful bust in our parlor that was a gift from the indigenous people that they gave him because he would hold these incredible meetings at the Mountain House where he would invite educators, politicians, everybody that had influence at the time to gather and discuss and basically advocate for these situations. So Lake Mohonk means lake in the sky, and it's a beautiful name.
We've been out tubing. Maybe we did a little bit of snowshoeing. We got our spa treatment, and now we're ready to maybe sit on the deck and take in the beautiful lake views. What are we sipping? What is sort of an iconic experience at the Mohonk Mountain House?
So something that we've maintained for decades was 4:00 tea and cookies. It's in our lake lounge. It is something that everybody looks forward to. Our team comes out right at 4:00 and they have baskets of delicious cookies. And then we have a wide variety of different tea that you can have. And you can take it to go. You can take it in a beautiful mug. And then, yes, those rocking chairs are right outside that space. So if you wanted to go outside and just relax and rock your worries away, you can. And if you wanted to sit by the fire or sit at the 2 grand tables that we have and enjoy your family time and play a board game, you can do that as well. But it is an iconic Mohonk thing that we do every day at 4:00. And certain times of year it evolves. So for upcoming Tulip Festival, they'll be featuring floral tea. During the Christmas period, they will enhance it sometimes with peppermint hot chocolate, or they'll have hot apple cider in the fall, in addition to that experience. So it really depends on what's going on there.
Wonderful. And you've painted such a beautiful picture. I know we're already planning a golf weekend. I can see
Nice.
the wheels turning in Sarah's brain. But what a great way to experience all the seasons for families that may be in more urban settings. And I know you have guests that fly in, and there's people that have come generations to experience the magic of the house. So thanks for sharing the story with us.
Thanks for having me. It was such a pleasure to meet you and talk about one of my favorite places.
We want to take a moment to remind you about the Ski Moms discount page on the skimoms.co website. We've collaborated with our favorite brands to bring you a ton of money-saving deals. For instance, we have a special link for Ski Butlers for 20% off your family's gear rentals. Ski Butlers delivers your rentals right to the living room of your condo or rental home or the lobby of your hotel, saving you hours of time. You'll never have to wait in a long rental store line at the base of the mountain again. When you use our links and codes, you not only save a bundle, you're also sending a message to the brands about the purchasing power of the Ski Moms. Head to www.theskimoms.co/discounts to take advantage of these special offers. Hey, Ski Moms, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and got some great tips for your next family ski adventure. If you had as much fun listening as we did making this episode, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. And don't forget to rate and review us. Your feedback helps us bring you more of the content you love and helps other ski moms find our podcast. Plus, we love hearing from you. So whether you're on the slopes or just dreaming of your next snowy getaway, stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes with your friends, and let's keep this awesome community growing.
Hey, Ski Moms! We're thrilled to be partnering with Ulster County this year to bring you 4 seasons of family travel inspiration. Nestled in the stunning Hudson Valley of New York State, Ulster County is your go-to destination for outdoor adventure all year long. And when it comes to planning your winter getaway, this spot truly delivers. Let's talk about Bel Air Mountain, a ski resort that has thought of everything, from their expanded base lodge and standalone equipment rental center to the beginner-friendly area on top of the mountain. Yep, you heard that right. Bel Air makes hitting the slopes a breeze for newbies and seasoned pros alike. Looking for thrills? This is home to the only gondola in the Catskills and the longest vertical drop in the region. Oh, and if Mother Nature isn't cooperating, no worries. 96% of the terrain is covered by top-notch snowmaking. Looking for even more winter fun? Rocking Horse Ranch has you covered. Picture this, a beginner ski hill, snow tubing, ice skating, and a winter fun park all in one spot. And if you're feeling adventurous, how about a horseback trail ride through the snowy landscapes? It's like a winter wonderland on horseback. Get all the details and start planning your Ulster County adventure at visitulstercountyny.com. That's visit ULSTER County NY.com.